Hey guys, it's Tuesday night at 5:15 p.m. Central Standard Time, so it is time for our cooking class. Tonight we're going to be making cheesy green bean skillet. This meal does classify as keto if you're doing keto, but we think it's good no matter what. So, not a meal that you would not want to serve to other people. It's delicious. So, that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So we'll wait for a few more people to jump on, and then we will start into how to make that. And at some point in time during this live, we will, of course, read the ingredients for next week's live. So stick around for that. And we're going to talk about fermented foods and properly preparing your stomach and body for food. So anyway, lots of interesting stuff to talk about. And so I'm going to grab a few more items for dinner while you guys jump on. And then we'll get started, okay? Hey you guys, you haven't missed anything. I'm just filling the water filter, so just a second. Hope you guys are doing good tonight. Hey Carl! Yay, Carl's on! See who else jumps on. I know Kathy was going to be on because she told me she was. Bree is hiding somewhere, so we'll see if she joins us or not. Their friends just left, so you know how it's like being a kid, all your friends leave. And now all the toys are everywhere, and it was fun while it lasted. That's kind of what's happening around here. But it's always fun. It is so windy here, you guys, which is why my hair looks the way it does. So windy. Nothing new, but definitely a windy day. So the kids are like hollering outside at each other, trying to yell over the wind. So that's kind of funny. Okay, here, one more board here. Okay, let's get started. Tonight we're making cheesy green bean skillet. I call it a casserole, but I don't want to like call it a green bean casserole because if you do that, then people think Thanksgiving or Christmas, and that's not what this is. So this is a really delicious cheesy meal that it's keto, but people who don't eat keto like it too. So you're going to want some sort of a large pan. I'm going to use my Dutch oven again, like I usually do. It's kind of my go-to. So we're just going to get started. So the first thing is going to be putting your pan over medium heat. And we're going to put 1 pound of ground beef in there. But first, if you hear annoying beeping, it's my dishwasher. It's like right over here. So, sorry about that. I'm going to put a little bit of lard in the bottom. You could also use any other form of healthy fat. Coconut oil, tallow, duck fat, goose fat, anything that's a semi-solid at room temperature. So a little bit of lard went into the pan. And now the pound of ground beef. Did you get the Lambus bottle today? You guys got it done? Oh, good. This makes a huge batch. So, if you don't want several meals, you might want to have the ingredients. Of course, it's so good, maybe you want to eat that much. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. How about that? Okay, so 1 pound of ground beef. That's going to get cooking over medium heat. Then, we're going to go ahead and chop up 1 yellow onion to go in there. I did want to say, really quick, that I know Azure Standard would really appreciate your prayers tonight and the following weeks. They had a fire last night, and one of their buildings was a complete loss. So, anyway, if you are someone who orders from Azure Standard like myself, it might impact you for the next couple of months. The particular building that burned down was a building that they used to repackage oils and liquids. So any sort of thing that came in Azure, like let me grab something. Anything that comes in Azure liquids. Whoops. Let's see. What else do I have? I don't know. Here's just one example of an Azure liquid that would be affected. So like molasses, that's an Azure brand. Anything that's liquid. That's the building that burned down. So anyway, they're looking into arson, which would be my gut feeling, would be that, unfortunately, that happened to their company. It's over on the West Coast, just like the last food packaging place that burned last week. So anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. They're looking into it, obviously, but if you're a praying person, be praying for Azure Standard over the next couple of weeks, as they try and figure out how to manage losing part of their company to fire. So, okay, so we're on back to the yellow onion. If you just jumped on, all we have that you've missed is a little bit of lard inside the pot over medium heat and 1 pound of ground beef. And now I am chopping the yellow onion. I'm not really sure like how much, other than the liquid department was affected for Azure's fire, but it wasn't the whole warehouse, it was just the packaging area. So, but they do repackage a ton, so it will be interesting. Okay, the next ingredient is 4 garlic cloves. I'm gonna go put my rest of my garlic away. Okay, this is a very, very quick meal, so I have full intentions of getting it cooked, and then we will read off the recipe for next week. And then also, I would like to take some time and talk about...
Hi.
Oh, there's Bree. Carl's on, Bree.
Hi, Carl.
So anyway, I'd like to talk about fermented foods and the importance and how to prepare your body for food. What's the proper way to do that? So we'll talk about that too on the live. So we got 4 garlic cloves that we're chopping. And if you're on and you've never chopped a garlic clove, you're going to separate the clove from the bulb. I don't know, William. What are you looking for? The sweep? You looking for the broom, baby? Okay, the broom. I gotta go find a broom. I'll be right back, you guys. You keep chopping.
William, it's in the other building.
Oh, honey, it's in the other building. Oh, it's right here. You want this one? Okay, don't blow away now. Okay. Back to the garlic, guys. If you've never chopped a garlic before, you're going to separate the garlic from the bulb, and then there's this like flat part. We're going to go ahead and chop that off. And And then this one, the skin has just peeled off. And sometimes that'll happen, depending on the age of your garlic. If it doesn't just peel off, you can go ahead and take your knife and put it on an angle on it, and then just use your fist to kind of tap on your, or I call it a bop, but whatever, on your knife so that it kind of squishes the garlic a little bit and that skin will release. It's not a good idea to use pre-chopped garlic because if you read the ingredients on the can of the pre-chopped diced garlic that you buy into the store, there's preservatives in that. That's how they make it look like garlic after it's been stored for so long. So just the goal should be to keep your preservative load low, and chopping your own garlic is a good idea. It's one way to kick a few more preservatives and yucky stuff out of your diet. How's it coming over there, Bree? Doing good?
Good.
Oh, good. Carl says hello. Hello back to you. Okay. There we go. We're chopping it. When I first started cooking with actual garlic, I didn't know that you could just like bop it on the head with a knife and it would peel itself. So I was making pickles and I was trying to peel each individual garlic with my fingers, and so my nails were like just full of garlic skins. It was actually kind of painful after a while because they got shoved so far in there that it just wasn't very much fun. Okay, you're sauteing away. So while she's cooking, so next week we are making pork chops in tomato gravy. So that's going to be really yummy. This recipe is for 4 pork chops. So depending on how many people are eating, you might want to have it. So for pork chops and with tomato gravy, we need 4 pork chops, 2 cans of tomato paste, 1 cup of chicken broth, 8 slices of bacon, half a pound of mushrooms. I'm just going to use like the little mushrooms, but you sure could use the big portobellas. Either one is good. Let's see, 1 onion, 3 garlic cloves, 3 bay leaves, 2 tablespoons of thyme. I'm not talking about the thyme everybody's short on. We're talking about the spice, thyme. 1 tablespoon of paprika, salt and pepper, and 3 tablespoons of butter. And then as far as what to serve with that, if you can have carbs, you sure could throw some baked potatoes in. That would be yummy with maybe like a side of steamed vegetables. If you can't eat baked potatoes, you could always bake up some rutabagas as a replacement, or just serve it with a side salad or some sort of steamed vegetable. How's that going, girl?
Good.
Okay. She's still cooking it over here. You guys haven't missed much. Are you bored, Bree?
Kind of.
At least you're honest. That's okay. Should we talk about ferments, Bree? Would that be fun? Like the role of ferments and preparing your body? Should we do that?
I don't know.
Okay. So, I'm going to be reading partially from this book, Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon, and then some of it's in my brain. So, we never used to eat fermented foods, and then we did the GAPS diet, and that was one of the requirements was to consume fermented foods before every meal. And so when I looked into it, like, why is that so important? It's because these little boogers here, this is sauerkraut, what ends up happening is the second it goes into your mouth, your saliva glands start producing more saliva, and it's actually a signal to your gallbladder to produce bile. Now, if you're one of the people who have had like your gallbladder removed, you should really look into how to supplement your gallbladder. And one of those ways that you can look into is ox bile. If you get on westinaprice.org and type in gallbladder, you'll see all the articles and what they recommend for taking as far as dosage goes. But anyway, fermented foods basically warn your body. It gives your body a heads up that we need to produce bile, and we need to be ready to break down fats and protein. And so that's what the benefit is in eating fermented foods before a meal. They say optimally 15 minutes before a meal is best. We don't always do that. A lot of times it's like 3 minutes before a meal. Sometimes we'll eat it, we'll say our prayer over our food and then eat our meal. So maybe it's more like 5 minutes in that case. Rarely ever do we actually hit the 15-minute mark, but if you're looking for perfection, 15 minutes before a meal is when you should eat your fermented food. It could be any fermented food. You could do dilly bean pickles that are fermented. You could do sauerkraut. You could do beet kvass. You could do, what else, Bree? Fermented carrots. You could do fermented carrots.
Tomatoes.
Fermented tomatoes. Homesteading Family has a really good video on that. I'm just going to refer to her because if I made a video about it, I mean, it's her recipe. So, let's see. I don't exactly remember what her video is called, but it's fermented tomatoes. And pretty much she goes through her garden at the end of the season and picks all the small stuff that's really, I call them a nothing burger, but small little tomatoes and puts them into a jar and ferments them, and they're really good. So that would be another way to get it. How else? Kefir, you got your fermented liquids. Kombucha.
Beet kvass.
Yeah, beet kvass. So, anyway, that's why we eat it before we eat it before every meal. So we don't ace on the timing of 15 minutes. But, that's why. So basically, I'm going to read from this now really quick. Lactic acid is a natural preservative that inhibits putrefying bacteria. Starches and sugars in vegetables and fruits are converted into lactic acid by the many species of lactic acid producing bacteria. So they're basically present on everything that's living. So when you take your cabbage and you slice it all up, it already has that awesome bacteria on it. And so when you go to ferment this, in the case of sauerkraut and a lot of other ferments, this particular recipe that I use is just cabbage and salt, and that's it. And what ends up happening is the salt holds back the bad bacteria until the good bacteria take over so much that there's no way you're going to have bad bacteria. So, but also, if you use like a lacto ferment, would be you would use like whey. Liquid whey, which is the liquid that comes off like when you make homemade yogurt or buy yogurt from the store, sour cream, homemade cheese, kefir, anything like that would be the clear spots in your jar when you're doing kefir is all whey. And so if you were going to do a ferment that you were to add whey, that's lacto fermentation. And the idea behind that is the whey is basically taking the place of the salt within your ferment. So basically what ends up happening is the lactobacilli that are inside your whey protect it, just like the salt did, until the good bacteria can take over. So there's a couple of different ways to ferment. Let's see, what else? So basically, just like I said, the ferments warn your body there's food coming, but they also promote good bacteria within your digestive tract, meaning from your mouth all the way to the other end. So that's a good deal. And also when you calculate it out, because I'm a math girl, I got to calculate everything out. The sauerkraut is cheaper than any probiotic that you could possibly buy, and it's actually more powerful. There's actually more good guys, more good bacteria than anything you can buy on the market, and it's cheaper. Something I always tell people is that our cells on our body are outnumbered 10 to 1 by bacteria. So what kind of bacteria that is depends on what you're putting on it and in it. And so just remember that as you're selecting what you're putting in your body.
It's done.
It's done? Yay! Okay, we're going to go back to cooking. Brief interlude. All right. She's got that going. How's it going?
Good.
Good. Okay, so I am going to, let's see, you're going to add, how about you add some stuff? Let's see about this. We need 1 teaspoon of onion powder and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. So 1 of these and 1 of these, Bree.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to get to shredding some cheese here. This is from Azure Standard, and this hopefully will be a product they will still carry even after their fire. This is Romano Organic Mild Cheddar Cheese. We're going to shred this up into, we need 2 cups of cheddar cheese.
Did garlic powder? Yeah, I did.
Yep, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Just mix it on up. The next ingredient is 6 cans of green beans. And like I said before, I'm going to be using home canned green beans, so it's actually just 3 of these because this is equal to about 2 of your canned jars from the store. You can also use fresh green beans if you steamed them first. This is just meant to be a fast meal. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop the lids just a little bit. Okay. And now we're going to drain them off.
Oh.
Okay. Can you do it? You want me to do it? Hold the lid on and let all the liquid out. So you're going to drain your cans over there. I actually do not like canned green beans, but in this recipe I love them. So that's a plus. Okay, go ahead and dump it on in. Good job, Bree. Shake it up and down. There you go. That way you don't hit the jar. Okay, I'll trade you. This one's open. I'm going to go ahead and shut this burner off and put the lid on, and we're going to make the sauce that goes over the top. Okay, you want to drain that one? This is such an easy meal, you guys. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, so on the back burner, I'm going to take a medium saucepan. And over medium heat, we're going to put 2 cups of milk back there. Good job, Bree. So when I say milk, preferably organic milk. If you can find non-homogenized milk, that's a good thing. This happens to be organic raw milk, but obviously once I cook it, it's not going to be raw anymore. But it's the milk we drink, so here we are. 2 cups. Good job, Bree. Why don't you go ahead and put the lid on so that stays nice and hot. Okay. The next thing is 8 ounces of cream cheese. It's going to go right into our sauce on the back burner there. And I buy this from Azure Standard. My entire pantry's Azure Standard, you guys. So I'm very, very grateful that the fire only affected the packaging, but still that's going to be quite a few of their products. So anyway, I get this from Azure Standard. This is a 2-pound tub of organic farmhouse cream cheese. Usually I use Nancy's cream cheese, Nancy's sour cream, all the Nancy's. But they had a good sale on it, and it went out of stock. So 8 ounces from here. And I'm just going to estimate because who wants to weigh anything? How should we estimate it, Bree? So if we split it in half, it would be how much on each side? It's 2 pounds. So this one would be 50%. So 1 pound and 1 pound, right? So if we want half of a 1 pound, then we'd go in half the other way, right? So then each one of these is how much? If you take 1 whole and we divide it by 4, that's what percent?
25.
25%. Okay. Good job, Bree. Look at that. We did our homeschooling for the day. We had kind of a crazy day today because we're getting ready to receive our 100 meat birds tomorrow. Our meat bird chickens. If you typically raise Cornish cross, I would strongly encourage you to look into the Freedom Ranger birds. They are amazing to raise. What an amazing bird. And there's no timeline on butchering them. They can stay around for as long as you want them. They don't croak over and die under stress or anything else. They're just a very, very, very hardy bird. And the organization that sells them has absolutely amazing customer service. They partner together with local farms that are Amish farms to hatch out their chickens, their eggs, and then ship them out. So anyway, it's a pretty cool company. So we ordered from them again. I ordered a couple months ago just to make sure that we were going to be able to get them. So the next ingredient is 2 cups of cheddar cheese. So in this back pot for the sauce, we've got 2 cups of milk, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 2 cups of, it's going to have 2 cups of cheddar cheese here in just a minute. I almost said it was already in there. It's not in there yet. Then what, Brie?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I wish my big cheese knife was out of the dishwasher. It's not. So we're just going to roll with it. There we go. See if I can get 2 cups out of that. Yeah. You want to try it? Or should I do it? Overrated?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Brenda, hello. I have been painting my house so kiddos are outside so I can join today. Yay! It's like warm here too, but we have like horrible wind, so then it kind of makes it unbearable to be outside. So, but I'm glad you're here, Brenda. That's awesome, and I think Kathy should be here too. But remember, she can't comment, but she's here because I know she told me she would be. And I know Carl's here. This is such an easy meal, and it's absolutely delicious. And it's keto for those people who are looking for lower carb. It's keto, so delicious, delicious. I appreciate all of you that went and took the time to vote on the poll as to what I should make videos about, because I would rather make videos that you guys enjoy watching than make videos that nobody wants to watch, or just a few of you do. You know, my time's precious with everything we've got going on, and so I want to make content that is helpful and that people want to watch. So I appreciate all of the suggestions you guys put down in the comments underneath that poll, and also voting on what you guys want to see. Okay, so I'm going to just guess that there's 2 cups in here. So where's a whisk? Are we going to have to pull it out of the dishwasher?
Maybe.
Maybe. Let's look around. Look one more drawer down. Is it going to be magically clean? Oh, it's not looking good, is it? I might have to pull it out of the dishwasher and hand wash it. Yep. The good news is I'm getting my steam facial. Okay. Alright. Good to go. So I'm going to have Bree just start whisking that back cream sauce that we're making. There you go, kiddo. So just push down on the cream cheese so it kind of like melts. Just keep it going. Brenda says, Indiana is beautiful right now, but all week it has been rainy and my lettuce, oh man, we haven't had any rain. I'm jealous. Will you turn on like a really big fan over there and like blow it back? That'd be awesome. We're supposed to get rain, I think, Wednesday. And I'm trying to like not hold my breath, because every time they say we're supposed to get rain, they like literally take it out of the forecast like 3 hours before it's supposed to be here. So I think we got like 5 drops last week. Not so good. Brenda says, I would love a homeschool video. Oh, sure. Yeah, I could do that too. Everyone has their go-tos. Yes, yes, yes. Depends on your kids too, what you use. But that's funny you would mention that, because I've had several people locally here that their kids are in public school ask me, like, what do you use in the last week? I think there's a lot more parents that are starting to wake up to what's being taught in the school. And they are not okay with what's being taught. And they are looking for alternatives. And I'm more than willing to show some alternatives, that's for sure. Okay, so did the cream cheese melt?
Yep.
Okay, cream cheese melted. Oh, hey, Jackie. Jackie's back. Sorry I missed last week. Okay, that's all right. You know what? It's really, really hard right now. Until I get 1,000 subscribers, like, you're not even going to get a ding on your phone, because that's the way YouTube does it. And so until we get 1,000 subscribers, you won't really get an alert. So, yeah, you kind of have to set a timer, unfortunately. I do too, though. I almost forgot about tonight's class. That would have been a quiet class, you guys, if I would have forgot about it as well. Okay, so is it melted? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so now the cream cheese has been melted, and we're going to add the 2 cups of cheddar cheese to it, hopefully without making a huge mess. What do you think, Bree? And Bree's just going to keep on whisking, and it's important that you keep whisking because if you stop, the cheese kind of gets runny and it'll stick to your whisk. So just keep whisking it, and it will evenly melt into the milk and cream cheese mixture. And what we will be left with is a delicious cream sauce. Woo. Love your recipe because I live for all cheeses. So, I don't know how many of you guys were like here last week and how many of you weren't. But last week I made that like little announcement on the live that I have 2 cavities inside my mouth and I was going to my naturopath to figure out why I had them. So if you want to hear that story, I could talk about that tonight, but comment down below and I will comment. Otherwise, it's something I've considered making a video about. Just haven't gotten around to making one and I wasn't quite sure how to word it. So still working on it, but if you want to hear about it on tonight's live, comment down below and I'll talk about it. But yes, so because I have the 2 cavities in my mouth, temporarily I have to go kind of keto, but I can still have carrots and apples and things that keto people can't have. But anyway, all the information is back in the last live about the book that I'm reading, about curing tooth decay, and kind of my initial plan on handling things. So, but yes, so a lot more cheesy recipes because that's pretty much what I can have is cheese. Which is not a bad thing. To take my cream cheese away would be bad.
Ooh,
I love
sticky.
cheesecake. Keep going, keep going. Don't slow down. Here, don't go that fast though. Just go slow. Slow whisking. There you go. Slow whisking. Alright, so she's just whisking. She looks very entertained. That's why she's sitting with her hand on her head on her hand there. Go, Bree, go. The cheese sauce is relying on you, Bree. Cheese sauce is relying on you. Okay, last ingredient is salt and pepper. We'll start with like a teaspoon. What did you do with that teaspoon?
You put it inside
In the sink? Okay, I'll wash it. Yay! When the world falls apart, cheese is what I will miss. I know. I am right. Not just cheese though. Sour cream. Okay. Hey. Sour cream. Cottage cheese.
Whoa!
Woo! You're getting wild over there with that. What else? That is actually the reason why I bought dairy goats like 2 months ago. And they should have dairy in the beginning of the year and this next year. So I bought big dairy goats. So they're supposed to give a gallon of milk a day each. So that will be very helpful for my family. And then I plan to take that. I actually plan to leave the babies on the mamas. So we'll probably only get a half a gallon a day per goat. But with 3 goats, that's a gallon and a half. So that's nothing to quack about. And how you doing over there?
Whoa.
Anyway, so hopefully I'll solve some of our dairy issues for next year at least. Okay, so into the cheese sauce. It's getting wild over there with Bree. She's having a fun time. I don't know if you guys saw that. She's getting kind of wild. Okay, let's put the salt in, baby girl. Oops. I'm going to do it left-handed. I'm not a left-handed, but I'm a right-handed person. Woo!
Sticky.
Okay, salt. We're just going to do a little bit of a dash of pepper. The other problem with cheese is like there's only so much that you can stock up on. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, unless you have like a cold cheese cellar or something. There's only so much prepping you can do for dairy. Unless you have the actual animal that produces the dairy. And we are in such a horrendous drought that we couldn't see taking on an animal that requires so much grass and so much hay. So that's why we went with dairy goats. Okay, how is it? Good? Let's see about it. Take it back that way onto the burner. There you go. I'm just fast whipping this so that the cheese finishes incorporating. It's just a really thick sauce, guys. Okay, Bree, you want to take the lid off of the red thing, and we'll just dump it right on in. Ooh, I just threw cheese in. I should taste the salt. Yep. Salt's right. Here we go. Yum. Yum.
That's a special meal.
Did I say yum?
Yes, you
I said yum, didn't I? Alright, let's bring the people in for a close-up. Ooh. So cheesy, guys. Yum. You got some on your face. It's okay. You're still pretty, even with a little bit of cheese. In fact, I think the cheese is good. I'm adding just a little bit more salt because there's green beans in there and a little bit more pepper. Just sprinkling it, maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, and it's just sprinkling of pepper. And then that meal's done.
That was quick.
That was a quick meal. Jackie says, with cure tooth decay, I quickly healed an abscess on my gum and saved 2 teeth that were loose. Yeah. My dentist said if he didn't remove them, they would fall out. Ha 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 on him. Amen to that, sister girl. Bree over here, speaking of dentist things, when she was a year old, this is back when of course she's 12 now, so 11 years ago, it was common practice for the dentist to do fluoride treatments on 1-year-olds. And so she has a daily struggle with her enamel, and we did the GAPS diet, and that healed the holes in her enamel. So that's great. We're just still trying to like regulate how the teeth handle. She seems to have like some sort of excess buildup of calcium on her teeth, so we're trying to link it and see if it's linked to consumption of nightshade. I don't know yet. But anyway, the GAPS diet actually healed the holes. You could see the visible holes in her teeth. So there is healing teeth. It's not known because, well, why would they talk about it? Because they have the answer right now. So, but yeah, the Cured Tooth Decay book is absolutely amazing. The stuff in there is amazing. Brenda says, we live in town, no goats for us, but I'm trying to talk my house. Yeah, husband into chickens. Yeah, that's a protein source. If you can't get anything from the store, yeah, chickens. You can eat them and their eggs. Although if you eat them, you don't get any more eggs. They're just kind of done at that point. Brenda says, I need to get that book. I have one weaker tooth in the back. It doesn't bother me at all, but want to. Yeah. So, since we're talking about teeth, I'll just tell you guys about my appointment. And then if you guys feel like watching the full video, fine. I'm going to make a full video because there will be those people who are like scrolling through the internet who are wanting an answer to curing tooth decay. And so, they're not going to find this video, so I'll probably make a separate video anyway. But basically, the Cure Tooth Decay book goes into basically why Weston Price. There are 2 doctors he talks about in there, and one of them is the studies of Weston A. Price. And he talks about, and he shows pictures from his book about all the studies from Weston A. Price, about these indigenous people that he had to look in 4 mouths in order to find 1 cavity, and they've never seen a toothbrush or floss, let alone toothpaste. So these guys had excellent oral health without cleaning their teeth. And so Dr. Price knew it had to be something into the diet, so that's what he studied when he traveled the world, was what are these people eating, and why are all of their teeth fitting in their mouth? I mean, you can even see that today if you look down in, like, Africa and stuff. Like, even the kids that are, you know, just plain kids running around have enough room for all of their teeth. They're not lining up for the removal of their wisdom teeth. Everything fits. And usually they have broad faces, and that all has to do with what you were fed in your mama's womb, and sometimes even what your mama was fed. So it's just nutrition. And so what Weston Price learned was that within 1 generation of moving to town or closer to a trade route and consuming things like white sugar, white flour, white salts, and other canned processed foods, that within 1 generation they could no longer fit all of the teeth in their mouth. So they had teeth coming in crooked, wisdom teeth, you know, pushing other teeth out, that sort of thing, and then also cavities. And then he also found that if you take it a step further and you look into the next generation after that, that next generation had fertility issues. And if you think about it, what are a lot of my generation and younger dealing with these days. It's fertility issues. So it's just amazing how much our food and nutrition can feed into your mouth. So basically what I've learned is kind of what I've already known for a long time, which is it's so important to properly prepare grains. And that is why on this channel, that's all I do, is soaking of the rice, soaking of beans, making sure that you take the extra step. If you can ferment them, that's even better. The longer you soak or ferment a bean, rice, any sort of grain of the earth, the more broke down and eliminated the phytic acid is. And the reason why you want to eliminate phytic acid from your diet, you'll never avoid all phytic acid, but each of us have a different tolerance, we'll say, of phytic acid. So what you want to do is try to keep it as low as you possibly can. So by soaking and fermenting those things, the longer you soak and ferment something, the more broken down it becomes. Another way to break down the phytic acid is to sprout something. That's why sprouted bread is so good and important for you, is because what actually happens is the phytic acid is on the outside of, in that instance, like the wheat berry. And so what happens is the phytic acid is there to feed the seed as it sprouts. And so what ends up happening is when you sprout something, that little tiny tail that your wheat berries get is the little plant that was going to grow. And in the action of breaking through the outside shell of the wheat berry, and it has that little tiny tail, it has used up the phytic acid. That's the use of the phytic acid is complete. So that's why sprouted bread, sprouted tortillas, everything like that is really important for your diet because it's already been broken down for you. Another example is like sourdough. Sourdough, you've got like this, I call him Frank, but a monster in a jar that basically you feed your unprocessed flour to, and he chews on it, breaks it down, and gives it back to you minus the phytic acid. It's another really good, another good example. So basically, that's why that's so important, because phytic acid, what ends up happening is when you eat it, it binds to minerals like calcium, like magnesium, like phosphorus, all the things you need to build your teeth and your bones, it binds to. So you can obviously do the math in your mind that if you are a standard American and you're eating like lots of noodles, lots of rice, beans, that sort of thing that are not properly prepared, obviously your teeth and your bones are going to suffer because you're eating things that cause the minerals that you need in your body to not be utilized. So essentially, another way to look at it is like you're eating something, but in order for your body to utilize what you just ate, it has to take those things from your teeth or your bones to make it happen. So it's binding to those things that you've already had in your body, and that makes those areas of your body weaker because obviously it's pulling calcium from your teeth. What would you expect? So that's like the first half of the book. Second half of the book is talking about different diets. I had to kind of laugh. You guys probably know this because a lot of you guys who are on have been watching me forever. I am a person that does something 100%. I want to know that if I gave something if I tried something, that I gave it 100%, and that at the end, if I didn't get the result that I wanted, it wasn't because I personally failed. I do everything 100%. I never do 90%. I never do 80%. I do it 100%. Now, I will admit, just in case my husband ever sees this video, which I doubt he ever will, I am horrible cleaning up my messes after I'm done doing my 100%. But the project was completed 100%. So, anyway, so this book has different diets. They have a really strict diet that is supposed to heal your tooth decay very, very quickly. And then they have the type of diet that's like, well, if you only want to eat good meals once a day, you could do this. But in like realizing that it might take your teeth years to heal. And for me, I don't want to be on a diet for years just so I can cheat every day. I would rather be on the strictest diet possible, get my cavities and my teeth healed, and move on with my life. Because I don't want to go my whole life with no grains and no sourdough and no, you get the point, rice, potatoes. So basically what I am now on is the diet he's recommending with a few changes. Because like I said in the last video last week, I was going to get in with my naturopathic doctor, which I totally did. She did what's called a bioengineeric scan on my body. Bioengineeric scan can scan you And it basically gives you a list of nutrients that you're deficient in. And in this case, she said, what are we working on today? And I said, I want to find out why I have 2 cavities in my mouth. And it was not what I was expecting at all. So I'm going to try and say this without getting emotional. I thought that my cavities would be from pituitary and adrenal issues because the 2 teeth that I have are the exact same tooth on the top, on both sides, and both cavities are in the same exact place. And so I had that knowledge to me that those teeth, if you get online and you look into meridians, you have meridians in your body, and basically your teeth are linked to organs, and places on your hands are linked to organs, and places on your feet are linked to organs. So I just basically told her, she asked me where they were, I told her where they were. And then she scanned my body, and she said that it's nothing that I'm eating that's causing the cavities. And that I was getting plenty enough of vitamin K because I was eating that cod liver oil with the butter oil in it. I'll get that. Hang on. This stuff. And if you have any teeth that are, that's bad lighting. Is that better? No. Try it like this. There you go. Fermented cod liver oil with concentrated butter oil. If you have any teeth that are sore, you guys, you should be taking some of this because I had the one tooth on the one side was sore, and I took a half a teaspoon 3 times a day, and my pain has gone away. Definitely worth buying. It's by Green Pastures. This one is cinnamon flavored. I actually enjoy it, and actually I'll take some right now because I just remembered I forgot to take some. I'm supposed to take some at lunch. Okay, so I'm getting around to the point, guys. Don't get bored. It's like a gel. Basically, so she scanned me, and she said, oh, this is really interesting. And she said, it doesn't look like you're deficient in anything. It looks like you're on the right track. You're getting plenty of calcium because I drink raw milk. And kefir. And we eat raw cheese. And so she's like, it doesn't look like you're deficient in a lot of the things, you know. So, and you properly prepare all your grains, so it's not that. You soak all your seeds of the earth, it's not that. It's not diet. So this particular doctor, she's in Mankato, Minnesota. If you want to know more, she can help you out too. She does Zoom appointments. So she can take some stuff from you and she can actually scan it wirelessly, so you never have to leave your house. So if you're interested in that, it's newsongwellness.com. But this particular lady developed a program for her bioengineeric scanner that she can read your emotions as well. Because your emotions are stored in your body if you don't fully process them. And so what she developed the program because she was realizing that a lot of people in her practice that got cancers, it was like all linked back to emotions being stored in certain parts of the body. So my teeth, my cavities started when my friend passed away last year. Some of you guys know, like from, I don't mention her a lot, but my friend Celeste died like in 1 month. She was a mom of 5, actually a mom of 4. She was pregnant, and they took the baby emergency C-section, and she died within 30 days of cancer. And so what ended up happening was my cavities are not from anything I'm eating or not eating. My cavities are from the loss of my friend. And so in this bone that's right above my teeth is the emotion of wanting to break down but unable to. Anyway, so there's things that she can do for that. I took a lot of meals to her kids for a year. And every time I took a meal, it was really hard because their little kids were there. And so I've had to be strong for so long. So anyway, that is the cause of my tooth decay. So just in case anyone is watching and you're like, wow, she does everything and she's still got tooth decay. The world of health is so much more than diet, guys. And this is just one example of it being way more than diet. So anyway, I'm on some drops that she can infuse with different homeopathic remedies. So I think she infused like, I don't know, 15 into this one bottle. So it was like a lot cheaper for me. I don't have to take 15 different remedies. And then she can put different frequencies inside these drops that help me deal. That's why I'm crying now. Letting the emotions out and not holding stuff in anymore. It has been a year since she passed away, so it's kind of time for me to wrap my mind around that and finish that grieving for now. So it's a good thing. Tears are a good thing. But anyway, so I'm on the drops, and then she also said that through my scan, she could tell that my body is having a difficult time uptaking and utilizing all the ingredients that it needs to rebuild my teeth. So anyway, she put me on this product that she also sells. It's just an enzyme that helps your mitochondria take up more nutrients and utilize it. The other thing that should be considered with cavities, which I do, I'm just going to admit that I do it, is I breathe through my mouth. I just did it again. In any event, a lot of us breathe through our mouth. If you are a mouth breather, if you snore at night, if you, if you breathe through your mouth, which I had braces to straighten my teeth. Otherwise, my face is very narrow. And so when you're not well nourished when you're in the womb, and maybe your mom wasn't well nourished, you're kind of getting a mixed basket, and so a lot of times your teeth don't come in straight. And a side effect of that is that the bridge that goes across here, this bone here, is more narrow than what it should be, which then makes your nasal cavities smaller, which then makes you want to breathe through your mouth. The problem with breathing through your mouth is that it changes the pH in your mouth. So part of the problem is that when you're constantly talking through your mouth or you're spending all night snoring, your pH in your mouth gets off. And when it gets off, your teeth can't remineralize themselves. And the only thing that is the health of your enamel is minerals, you guys. So if you are a constant mouth breather, snorer, walking around with your mouth hanging open while you breathe, those are all things that's going to change the pH of your mouth. And so obviously, you want to work on that. They do sell tape to like tape your mouth closed at night. And I think I'm going to try that for a little while. But like I said, the main thing that came up was the loss of my friend last year. So I was not expecting that. I was expecting like, Crystal, you're eating too many carbs. You're eating too much honey. That's what I was expecting. I was not expecting this to be emotionally related, but it totally is. And the way the body works is with emotions. The emotion to not want to break down. The want to break down but unable to is causing my teeth to literally break down in that one spot. So the body is completely fascinating. I've had several other appointments with her before where she'll say something like that and the body takes it so literal. So this is a cool story. She had a person that came to her for other stuff, and after one appointment, the lady called her back and said, my feet really hurt. And so the naturopath was like, well, okay, do you want me to look into it? And so basically what ended up happening was she found out this lady has not had any feeling in her feet for, I think she said 20 years since her brother passed away in a war. He was killed in a war. And so literally her body was storing the emotion of that she can't move forward in her feet. So, I mean, you can see how, like, moving forward, like physically moving forward, would be that emotion. So it's just kind of crazy. And if you're open to it, she's an amazing naturopath. She's Weston A. Price doctor. So she totally believes in treating you with food, not with a whole bunch of supplements that she sells. So anyway, she's amazing. That's newsongwellness.com. You can book your own appointment through there, which is kind of cool. And like I said, she can see you anywhere, which is also very awesome. Brenda says, that is absolutely horrible. What type of cancer? Okay, so Celesta had lymphoma. And we didn't know what she had. It's just she was pregnant and she had like a lot of pain. And so her family like stepped up and took her meals and cleaned her house and everything. But then the pain got so bad that she would just scream out all the time. And so they took her to the local hospital and they couldn't find anything. And they just sent her home with painkillers. And of course she's pregnant. She was like 8 months pregnant. Anyway, and then the pain just got so excruciating that she couldn't bear it anymore. And so then they drove 2 hours away to the next hospital, who then did a scan on her and found the lymphoma. And by that time, she was already stage 4. So basically what ended up happening then was she got blood clots in her lungs, because that's like the final stage of lymphoma. So then they had to intubate her, and she never came back after that. They took her baby emergency C-section. She never held her baby. She never met her baby. She never woke up after that. So everything is like linked to, I'm telling you guys, when the Bible says to think on these things, it's to think on these things. Totally crazy. Okay, so Brenda, heart disease, yes, okay. Heart disease can be emotional. I actually had something happen that I don't want to talk about on this show, just in case the person who's involved is watching. But I had a heart that had an irregular rhythm, and it was actually linked back to being heartbroken about something, a situation with somebody else. And after one appointment, it was gone. So that's really cool. But heart disease, you should look into Dr. Cowan. He's on BitChute. He's not here on YouTube anymore because of obvious reasons. But he talks about the heart and how it's actually not a pump. It will blow your mind. If the heart is a pump, Brenda, why is it at the top of your body? And what makes the blood come back up? It's just fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. So on BitChute, I think that's the episode where he talks about water, structured water, but I'm not 100%. He has a book called Cosmic Heart that talks about it. So if you're into books, that's definitely a book to buy. It talks all about heart disease in there. It's just one of those things where you can eat the cleanest diet, and if you come out with heart disease as well, then there's deeper things. Just like these cavities. I eat a clean diet. I properly prepare all of my food. Why do I have cavities? Well, emotions. So it's just interesting. It's an interesting world. I wasn't quite sure how to say all that to you guys, so I'm glad you guys like stuck on and like listened. Because I don't want to seem like a total quack, you guys. But what I have found is literally to be the truth, that so many things in life, if you are well nourished and you still have disease, it's emotions. Something that's kind of cool to look into that I've just started looking into, it's called German New Medicine. And they talk about emotions and how it affects the entire body, and that they are the root cause of a lot of diseases, which is really crazy. After nutrition, they are the cause of a lot of diseases. So, but I just started to look into that because I could essentially think about what I'm struggling with, and I could get an appointment with Abby, and she can deal with it because she can zoom right in on what's going on. Brenda says, my husband is having difficulty swallowing. At times, breathing is a bit harder for him. He is a runner and so strong and amazingly healthy, except this issue. Yeah. See, so something with German New Medicine, they talk about any sort of like IBS, Crohn's disease, anything that involves the digestive tract can be linked to, because my dad also has GERD, which is where the top of your esophagus, top of your stomach, where your esophagus meets it, gets swollen. So he has trouble swallowing because he has really bad acid reflux, which is what GERD is. And basically, GERD is also caused, according to German New Medicine, it is emotions, and it's the emotion of not being able to process something. So when you say the words, I just can't believe that, I can't believe she did that, I can't believe he did that, those words, I can't believe, actually stores that emotion within your digestive tract somewhere. And what ends up happening is your body stores it as an undigestible morsel, and so it causes issues. So the body ends up building up extra lining on your esophagus or extra lining in your intestines to protect you from this undigestible morsel. And what ends up happening is over time that gets so thick that people have trouble swallowing, like in my dad's case. And or if it's in your intestine, then you end up having like bouts of diarrhea, which is actually what IBS and stuff is your body getting rid of those excess cells so it can function. Brenda says they did a scope and ultrasound on the thyroid and nothing showed up, but he did cut his mother from. Yes. So another thing, is he balding? Is he like losing his hair or skin cancer? So this is going to blow you guys' mind because it blew my mind. So according to German New Medicine, hair loss and or skin cancer is a sign of you not being able to handle a separation. So either, in your husband's case, it could be a separation, a chosen separation with his mother, or it could be like someone separating from you and you don't have any control over it. So it's definitely something to look into, Brenda. Like I said, that website is newsongwellness.com. She's a Christian. She's Weston A. Price. Her husband was a pastor. She's just amazing. And like within one appointment, you feel absolutely amazing, which is great. And she can see you guys. I know you guys are in Illinois. She can totally Zoom you. I know it sounds weird, but just remember we're all on cell phones right now. The technology is there, you guys, to do things wirelessly. He got GERD cut out. Okay. Yeah, GERD is not fun. My dad has that. He's had it burned. They stuck a scope down and then they burned it. He also has IBS. So he's got a lot of things in his life that is really hard to digest that he just can't believe. And if you can think about when all of this started for the person that you're talking with, and just say, okay, when did all this start? And then start thinking about what happened around that time. German New Medicine uses hypnosis, which I'm not, it's so funny, like I'm not really open to hypnosis, but I'm open to having somebody scan my body and tell me what's wrong and help me get it out. Anyway, so it's painless. The appointments with her are painless, and she nails it every single time. And so I am willing to go out on a limb here, be the crazy one, because she has helped my family so tremendously. And anyway, there's just things that we don't realize that our body carries, and it does affect you negatively on your health. Yeah. Okay, Brenda. So, Brenda, newsongwellness.com. But think about it before you book your appointment, okay? Just like have a talk with them and think about like when all this started. And then because what you can do is tell her that you're having these issues and you think it's emotional, and this is around the time frame that it happened, and your body has like a catalog. I know it's going to be hard to believe, but your subconscious mind keeps track of absolutely everything, and it will know exactly what happened that's causing all of that. So if you are eating a pretty clean diet and you're still having issues, I would definitely call her. It's worth the appointment. Appointments are $250, which sounds like a lot, but you can spend that in one doctor appointment with blood work. And with her, it's like actually your body, like telling her what you need. So it's pretty epic. And there's no way that I would have ever known that my cavities were from something emotional had I not gone to her. I would still continue to struggle with cavities, and they would never heal no matter what I ate. And then I would have ended up at the dentist getting them filled. So her machine was even able to tell me that this cavity on this side is through the, just through the enamel. There's a tiny slip of enamel left, but it is starting to head into the dentin. And this side is just in the enamel. So, I mean, we're talking about accuracy here, okay? So I was happy to hear that because those are still both healable cavities. And it's not too bad, so. Yeah. See, we have all been through, Brenda, all of us have been through hard stuff. I've lost 3 friends to cancer in the last year and a half. 2 of them were my age. 2 of them were mothers. Well, all 3 of them were mothers, but 2 of them were mothers of young children. One of them was a mother of an adult child that was like a mother to me. So I've had a lot of loss in the last year. We've all gone through lots of stuff, but I will say that the machine that she has developed can blast through negative emotions, hundreds of them in 1 hour. And when you get done with her, you just feel so much more lighter. Yeah, and then there's upbringings. All of our parents do the very, very best they can. And sometimes it's just not enough, which is kind of rough. So, you know, he started balding at 21 years old. He's still incredibly handsome. Aww. Which is why you have how many kids, Brenda? That's what happens. In any event, that's what my cavities were from, you guys. I wanted to share it with you. I wasn't quite sure how to say it, so that's why I haven't made a video yet. And obviously I'm still dealing with emotions that are finally like coming to the surface, and I'm able to like kind of process this and kind of move on with my life, which is good, and step into the healing aspect of it, which is even better. So anyway, that's how I had cavities, and that's why I have cavities. I will say that literally after my appointment, let's see, my appointment was last Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday. I checked my teeth yesterday, and the cavity on this side's already getting smaller. So that's just with emotional work as far as my friends passing away. So Jackie said, a chiropractor who really believes in emotional healing got me on some drops that got rid of experiencing hurts that happened throughout my life from early childhood. Yeah. I don't think all of us grasp, like I said, how much the mind, and particularly the subconscious mind, stores stuff from a very long time. This is like, I feel like I'm doing an infomercial for my naturopath, but her machine also picks up emotions that you're carrying of other people's. So if you're around somebody that's like just lost somebody, like if she scanned you guys tonight, and if when I was crying you guys got emotional, you're literally carrying some of my burden without even being in person with me. So it's just amazing, and amazing, and it kind of lets you into like the total thought that all of us are carrying around different emotions from our past and present, and that affects how we see the world. So it's pretty crazy, but a good thing. It's all good. But anyway, there is a guy here on YouTube. I don't like to totally endorse him. I think he's still Weston A. Price. It's the Heal Your Gut guy on YouTube. I don't like to endorse him because sometimes he uses profanity. I choose not to really do that in my life. But in his videos are really, really geared towards extreme cases of IBS, Crohn's, colitis, that sort of thing. But he tried the GAPS diet. He tried all these other diets and could not get any healing. And so he actually ended up finding German new medicine. That's how he healed his gut permanently. Now he can eat whatever he wants. But that is kind of the thing I don't like about his videos, is that he like says, oh, I can eat whatever I want now. Which is true. But what he's not saying is what you should be eating. And if you don't know he has a Weston A. Price core to him, then you would think that all you have to do is this German new medicine, and you can eat junk and still get health, which is not true. But anyway, he has tons of videos up on his channel, the Heal Your Gut guy on YouTube here. And he talks about German new medicine, and they're like short clips. They're like 5, maybe 10 minutes long, talking about different subjects. So balding, skin cancer, GERD, IBS, and it just like walks you through what things that could be linked to. So anyway, if you're interested in searching it out more, that's how you can search it out. And like I said, if you're interested in getting an appointment with a naturopath, that's newsongwellness.com. She's amazing. I am an INFJ. I carry everyone's burdens. Yes. That's really hard. I have a friend who's like that, and she goes to my naturopath now because the naturopath can blast away all of those and get down to what's bothering her as an individual. And you just feel a lot lighter afterwards. And it's kind of taught me how to put healthy boundaries up in my life, even with the people that I love, so that if I can process what I am carrying, I don't carry it very long. So if you have a conversation with somebody and you get off the phone and you're just like feeling really heavily burdened by it and down by it, because that person has kind of crossed into your boundary, what I've learned is if you just think about it for 10, 15 minutes, think about what needs to be said in a healthy way, and say it, you feel a lot better than carrying that overnight. Let's see. Brenda, if you didn't feel hurt for and with you, you cannot be human. Just saying. Yes. Yeah. The whole, I've had major wake-up calls in my life the last 3 years with the death of those 3 people. The first one was the lady that was kind of like a mentor to me. She's just really supportive of our lifestyle and everything that I do to keep my family healthy. And not everybody does that. And so that was a pretty big hit. When she had cancer, we knew she was dying, but you just don't know when, you know. And so anyway, she went, and then it wasn't more than, 6 months, and my other friend passed away with the 5 kids. And then it wasn't more than 6 months, and the last one passed away, who also has children. So anyway, it's really like struck home to me, like nutrition is so important. Doing everything I can to nourish my kids and nourish myself so I can be here for my family. It's really important. Knowing where you're going for eternity is really important. They all knew Jesus as their Savior. They all know where they were going. They are in a better place now. It's hard to grasp that when you leave behind 5 children, including a newborn baby. But God is good all the time. And even in this, He's good all the time. Brenda says, I have leaned on Christ through the years. Yeah, it helps immensely. That's for darn sure. I am also strong, nurtured, and have learned proper boundaries. Yes, the Boundaries book by Dr. Is it Townsend? I think it's Dr. Townsend. That one really helps. As far as setting boundaries with people and realizing that that's not a mean thing to do. It really does help. It helps you. It helps you be you. It helps, I don't want to say protect you, because I don't want you to feel like you have to be protected by everyone around you, but some people you do. It's just the way life goes. But yes, so the last year, year and a half, like probably closer to 18 months, I've lost 3 friends to cancer, and that was a huge wake-up call to me. As far as how important it is. Like, we only get one life, we only get one body, you guys. And so, is soaking and fermenting rice a pain in the butt? Yes. Yes, it is. Is soaking and fermenting beans a pain in the butt? Yes. Is sprouting all grains a pain in the butt? Yes, because it's not what we have been taught. It's a process, and we just need to soak in, realize, and accept that life is a process, and that health does not come quickly. And anytime there's ever been a shortcut to anything, it's not achieving the optimal result that it could be. So just remember that as you guys are properly preparing your stuff this week for your family, that it's worth it. You have to have long sight vision, that you're doing this for your family, for your children, for your grandchildren. It's worth it. It's worth it, even if it takes longer. Brenda says, is introverted, introverted, yeah, what it stands for. Introverted, intuitive, feeler, organizer, yeah. Myers-Briggs typology of personality. 16 personality online has a free test. Oh, cool. I've never taken one of those. I know I'm not an introvert, though. So anyway, that's that, guys. Dinner's done. I hope you guys had fun. I did. I'm glad everyone stuck around and nobody clicked off when I started to cry, because I think I probably would have cried even more. So thank you for staying around while I had my emotional moment. Now everyone who sat through it knows where my cavities came from. They're starting to heal. It's going to be great. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of my mouth, actually. I'm going to have the kids take a picture of it the best we possibly can with a cell phone. And then I'm going to have a before picture and then after. So I can show you guys that cavities can be healed. It is doable. You can do it. So anyway, with that, my daughter just said today our bodies are a gift and should be taken care of, a living sacrifice. Yes. Amen to that. We only get one body, you guys. I mean, convenience foods might be easier and faster in the short term, but those things are dead foods. They bring no health. So, the other thing I'm doing is oil pulling, which is why my teeth are like way whiter. I don't know if you guys noticed that while you guys have been watching. But oil pulling is absolutely amazing. If you don't know how to do it, you're going to want coconut oil. Let's see, where's my coconut oil? You want, not the cooking stuff. You want the expeller pressed virgin coconut oil, okay? And this stuff still has all the medicinal properties in it. That's why you want this type of coconut oil. Of course, I bought it from Azure Standard. This should not be affected by the fire, I don't think, unless they heat it up a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, Azure Standard makes it, but you could get it anywhere else you wanted to. And basically, you take 1 teaspoon of it, you put it inside your mouth, and you lightly switch it around for 20 minutes. If any of your teeth hurt, this is absolutely amazing for that. It helps to set your pH in your mouth back to where it's supposed to be. And it also helps keep bad bacteria under control. It does not kill good bacteria. Coconut oil is very good for you. So you basically swish it in your mouth, but my advice is not to swish it like you do your mouthwash. You're going to be swishing it very, very slowly. I kind of like suck it through my teeth back and forth very, very slowly for 20 minutes. If you rapidly swish your mouth, your cheeks will be so sore by the end of 20 minutes. It's not even funny. But anyway, this whitens your teeth because obviously it's getting rid of bad bacteria. So there you go. It helps to remove plaque and buildup on your teeth, which is great. It helps with gum disease, which is another awesome thing. And that's just 20 minutes a day, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, just slowly swishing it to your mouth. And then you spit it out. Don't swallow it because that coconut oil has pulled the bad bacteria and stuff out of your teeth. So anyway, that's something else everybody could be doing. If you have a sore tooth, do that. And then coconut oil, and then the cod liver oil was instant. The second half of a teaspoon dose, my pain was gone in my tooth. Brenda says, God has a calling for us and we need to be healthy. Yes. You got to stay around for your calling. You are very strong-natured for what is right. Yes, I am. I do everything 1,000%. Try to do things that are right 1,000%. It's a good life. We're all here for a purpose, you guys. So it's just making a good life out of it. Being here for as long as you need to. So I don't understand why all my friends died in the last 18 months, but God does, and I believe that He's still good and that there was a purpose even in that. So I have to rest in that. So anyway, on that note, I hope you guys all enjoy your green bean cheesy skillet. If you guys missed the ingredients for next week, we are making pork chops with, tomato gravy for the meal. So if you guys need the recipe ingredients, you'll have to watch the replay, which will be up in just a few seconds. And I just really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys all being on for me. I appreciate you guys not clicking off when I started to cry. And I appreciate you guys hearing me out on my crazy tooth story. It just is what it is. I wanted to be honest with you guys. I used to be the person that would say tooth decay is because of you're malnourished. And for a lot of cases in the United States, that is true. But there are the cases like mine where I have tried everything and I eat such a clean diet, and it wasn't diet. It was emotional. So keep that in mind. And I hope you guys have a great week. And yeah, you guys all take care. Thank you, Brenda, for being on. And Jackie, thank you for being on. And I know Carl's probably still on here because he's been with me from the beginning. You're amazing, buddy. And who else? Who else? Kathy should be on here. So, anyway. Oh, thank you. Jackie says, I am blessed every time I can share info to someone. You are a blessing to all of us. That's so nice of you to say. I don't know. I just feel like I'm here, and I'm here to encourage all of you and people who are my age, or it doesn't really matter what age you are, but particularly I'd love to get a hold of millennials like myself who grew up on crap food so they can nourish their children. I want our children to be well nourished. I want my grandchildren to be well nourished because I made a choice to nourish my own children. And if I can make that more doable by doing cooking classes once a week, and people can see how easy it is. I mean, this meal was so easy, you guys. It came together in, 15 minutes? If we can make it look more doable to the world and more appealing to the world because we have health, then amen to that. The more people who can be well nourished, the better our world will be. Brenda, I actually have another amazing friend. I'm very, 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 very blessed. I have one more close friend left here. I told her today she's not allowed to die because I wouldn't be able to handle it. And she looked at me and said, yes, you would, because you have God. Which she's right, but that one would be really hard because she's like my sister. So, but I did meet somebody, so you could pray about that somebody. Her name's also Crystal, and she lives here locally. So I'm going to feel that one out, see if I get a few more friends, because that would be nice to replace the ones that decided to kick the bucket, right? Jackie said, Kathy is the one who told me about Cure Tooth Decay. Yes. I think everybody should own the book. I think it should be mandatory. I tried to buy it used. Good luck with that. It's still like $30. It's an expensive book. The guy is dead. I don't know if he was killed. I'm not going to start conspiracy theories. But anyway, he actually spoke at one of the West Indian Price conferences years ago. So it should be on recording. So, oh, thank you, Carl. You don't have to do that. I'm still working on the cookbook. I have not given up yet. The cavity thing kind of has taken my main brain, but I am about halfway through my typing up of the cookbook. And so that's very sweet of you, though, Carl. That's very, very nice. I'm looking forward. I have to get it all typed, and then I have to go to my friend Samantha's house that I just mentioned, and she has, better internet than I do in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, and then I upload that onto the internet, onto the publisher's website, and then they tell me how many pages it is, and I have to go through all the editing of all that stuff. And then I'll have pricing for you guys. I won't have pricing until I do that, because I have no idea how many pages this sucker is going to be. And so they don't have any idea of a price. So anyway, I am on it, though. Don't think I've forgotten. It's just a long process. And I'm a type that when I create a recipe, I write down all the ingredients with no directions. So that's another thing I don't do 100%. So I don't pick up farm tools, and I don't write out directions to recipes. Like tonight's recipe, I don't even have directions to. So it's all in my mind, and I need to put it on paper. So that takes time, and sometimes I have to cook the recipes just to make sure I got the amounts right. So I'm working on it, you guys, and I promise I won't stop, because I want to have a cookbook to give to everybody. I think that'd be really fun. So anyway, okay, so now I'm going to cut out, because I need to go get my kids fed before 7 o'clock. Yes, Brenda, I agree with you. I am as well. Yeah. I'm not even going to go into that right now. You and I are sisters, and you already know it, Brenda. So you just live too far away to be close friends. We can't have tea together. Anyway. All right, you guys have a good night. I'm going to let you guys go, because I got to get this food into my kids before it's cold. But I really enjoyed talking with you guys. And I hope you guys have an amazing week. And I'll be putting up a video about my cavities here soon. And you don't have to watch it, because you guys have already heard. But I'm going to be doing that anyway. And I hope you guys have a great week. And I'll see you guys next week for the pork chops in tomato gravy, okay? Take care, you guys.